Hi. Hi, Michelle. Good morning. Do you all have your coffee? I literally just got out of bed an hour ago, so I have my coffee. We're just going to wait a couple more minutes, a minute or two, and then we'll get started. Hot and black, just the way I like it too. Yep. So, first off, I have not had any questions posted on the Facebook group. So, if you have any questions for me, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll be glad to answer them. I have some questions for you, so we can definitely start there. I have, if you remember by my Facebook, or yeah, my Facebook, my YouTube uh, updates, I have my retreat piece that I need to finish. And maybe Michelle, you can help me remember how I need to finish this. So I have, this is the box that it comes with that we were given to finish it. And we got a little piece to put down inside. And then we have all the pieces to put the finished stitching piece on the top. So my question is, so we have the foam and the board, or not the foam, but the matting or the batting or whatever. But the batting is bigger than the board. Do I need to cut the batting down? I can't remember. Anybody? I think you wrap it around. So I don't need, yeah, I know I need to wrap it around, but so I don't need to, wrap, okay. So I just wrap, oh, what am I doing? I don't need to wrap it, okay, without, okay, that would make sense. So I don't need to cut it down. So I just need to cut the fabric down to size then. Wrap it around, then both at the same time. Just like, okay. Then here's my next question. How do I secure the cording on? Do I just glue it on? And my cording is longer than the box is wide. So do I just need to tie this off and then cut it? Because the cording for the inside is the correct size, but I don't think the cording for the outside is the right size. Maybe it is. Hold on, let me see. I didn't even think about the fact that the box on the top is wider, is bigger. Yeah, I have too much cording. Wrap it all the way around, yeah. But I have too much cording. Then snip it when it gets back to the starting point and carefully. Okay. Good to know. Sounds good. That's what I will do then. So hopefully by the end of the day, for Wednesday's update, I will have a fully finished Halloween piece. Thank you, Michelle, and all of you for sticking out for that part. Anyways, how are y'all doing? I'm doing well. I just woke up about an hour ago. You know, it's a Monday holiday, so I decided to sleep in. I don't have a hot glue gun, Lucy, so I would have to. I have Eileen's tacky glue, so that's what I was going to use. So I'll just glue on one side at a time. Maybe pin it on because I have my sewing pins I could pin just to ensure that that it holds while it's being secured. So, anyways, how's everything doing? How's everyone doing? I'm doing well. I have a full day of crafting ahead of me. I'm not leaving the house at well, I can't say that. I might leave the house today. I have to go buy cake, but that's going to be like way later. So, I have a student that has a birthday today, so tomorrow we're going to celebrate his birthday and I have to buy cake. So, yeah, it's actually not hot and muggy here in Jersey. It is cold and dreary. Yesterday, I went to Atlantic City. If you saw my Instagram post, and I posted a picture of the beautiful sunny weather, I roll my eyes, of the shore. We call it shore here in Jersey, the beach. And it was dreary and raining and cold. So we pretty much stayed in Caesar's Palace and did a wee bit of gambling and went to Gordon Ramsay's pub for dinner and had some drinks, got some gelato, and drove home. Yeah, and that's just the way the weather is on the shore, Bendy. I don't know. So, but it was fun. I always enjoy going down to Atlantic City. We go a few times a year because it's only about an hour away. Usually we take the train, but yesterday, because we weren't sure what time we were going to come back, I decided to drive because the trains are sporadic in the evening. They're like every couple hours versus every hour. So I didn't want to have to get stuck and be like waiting at the train station. So I went ahead and drove down, and it's about an hour. Not too bad. So yeah. So anybody have any questions for me? I have some other things we can chat about, but I wanted to have some questions to answer, but no one posted anything on my YouTube or on my Facebook feed for questions. So I wanted to give the opportunity to answer. Would you ever think about dyeing fabric? Michelle, no, I would never think about dyeing fabric. There's too many other wonderful people to dye fabric, and I don't have the patience for that. Nope, I have no interest in ever dyeing fabric, even for my own projects. Other people can do it for me. I'd rather pay a little bit more and know exactly what I'm getting. And you will have to excuse my congestion because of the weather. I have the pollen is extremely bad here today, so I'm going to be sniffling a lot. So yeah, no, I probably would never. I know you're not supposed to use words like never and always. I probably would never because I can't stand, and I just don't have the patience for that. I don't. It's just not my cup of tea. And plus, I'd rather give the business to other people who are really good at it. So yeah, no, no. Let me get the other light on because it's a little grainy. See if that helps. Okay. Any other questions? I thought I would go ahead and give you an update. I don't have any of my stitching in front of me because it's all on my stand and everything. However, my birthday is looming closer and closer. And if you're following me on my video or on my updates, I'm getting closer and closer to a new birthday start. But in order to do that, I have to get to my birthday goals. And if you all remember correctly, I had, how many birthday goals did I have? I had to finish A Page and Henry. I had to finish The Snowy Owl. I had to finish The Secret Stitch. I feel like there was one more, but I can't remember what it was right now. Welcomes from Slovakia. I will not try to even pronounce your name because I will butcher it. But welcome. Wonderful to have you. Thank you for joining us. So anyways, birthday finishes in order to have the birthday start. So I swear there was 4, but I can't remember what the 4th was at the moment. Hi, Yvonne. So anyways, we're talking, maybe you can help me remember. I'm trying to remember what my goals were in order to have my birthday start. I know I had to finish A Page and Henry. I had to finish The Snowy Owl. I had to finish my Secret Stitch, and I had to finish something. I feel like I had to finish something else, but I can't remember what it was. What else have I finished lately? Maybe there wasn't anything else. Yes, the Phoenix. Thank you, Michelle. The Phoenix. Okay. So, an update on my goals. The Phoenix is done, obviously, because they can't even remember about it, which you can purchase the pattern in my Etsy store. So go check that out. And I'm running a sale, 25% off all of my patterns through the end of tomorrow. I'm extending the holiday weekend one more day. So you have up and through the end of Tuesday to purchase the patterns 25% off. That's all of my patterns in the store. So go check that out. But anyway, so my pattern or my goals for my birthday start: Phoenix, done. My Secret Stitch, done. I still have to finish it, fully finish it, which hopefully will be done this week. Henry, the page on Henry will hopefully be done today. As soon as I'm done with this video, that will be my priority. I should have that done within the next couple hours, maybe by lunchtime, like 1 o'clock lunch. So maybe like 2 to 3 hours, and Henry's page will be done, and I can show you the page finish on my Wednesday update. And then the Snowy Owl is about halfway done, just about halfway done. And I can should be able to knock that out in maybe 1 or 2 weeks of good stitching here in June. And I have just over 24 days left. So I have also finished a small motif on the mushroom sampler over the weekend. Was it over the weekend? Yeah, Friday. I think I finished that on Friday. And I might go ahead and do one more motif on that before I allow myself to do anything else, any other new start. And I might pull out London and try to get a nice chunk of that done before I start a new start, just to feel like I've worked on the majority of my whips. And that way, I kind of feel like I've had some good progress on all of my whips. Obviously, London is a long way off from getting even closely remotely done. even though I wanted to have that done at the end of the year, but that's not going to happen. So that is my plan. And I'm 99% sure I already know what I'm picking for my birthday start, but I'm not going to show you that until June 24th, which is a Sunday. So I should have plenty of time to stitch on Sunday. So now, also coming up June 1st, I do plan on having, fingers crossed, knock on wood, I hope to be able to do a daily vlog like many people have done throughout May for my progress leading up to my birthday. And I say, hopefully, knock on wood, fingers crossed, because I do have some events coming up here at the beginning of June that could impede on those plans. I have some family visiting here in June that might limit the amount of stitching I get done, as well as like how much time I have to film and edit, as well as some school events because I'm in charge of graduation and whatnot, and that takes like all day on the graduation day. So hopefully I will get something up that day, even if it's like a 3-minute video. Excuse me 2 seconds while I blow my nose. This is why you should have coffee. Okay, so the plan will be starting Friday to have a daily vlog posted of what I'm working on to build up to my birthday start. So you will see a lot of the snowy owl because that's basically what I have left to work on. But then, of course, like I said, I might throw in some extra mini goals to supplement the progress, as well as I might continue working on Henry throughout that time. So to build, because I'm enjoying working on Henry in between these other pieces because I feel more motivated to get, like, as long as I work on him, even if I just work on him a day and then I put him away and I do something else and I come back and work on him a day, I feel much more motivated to get things done, especially going through this really, really heavy confetti section, which is about 4 to 6 pages long. So it's going to be a long 4 to 6 pages, but I will get it done. So that's the plans for June. Does anybody else have any questions for me while we are here sitting, talking, and chatting? We have some new faces here. Yes, I know, it's so much confetti. I know I can do it. I slowly but surely. The tortoise wins the race, right? And hopefully I will be through the confetti by the time we go to Minnesota in October. So at least we can see the confetti. I don't think he will be done by then, but you never know. No, I know he won't be done by then because I still have 11 pages left. Oh, thanks, Michelle. You know, you really need to be helping me with my moderation because I did not even see that question. Thank you. So Jenny Knits asked, how did you get started stitching? Ah, wonderful question. I got started stitching years and years and years and years and years ago I don't even remember how old I was. I was probably middle school age by my mom. I don't even remember why or how, or I just remember that I was always a crafty person. I was doing latch hook and that kind of stuff. Like I was making like those latch hook kit pillows that you used to be able to buy, which I think you can still buy at Hobby Lobby, but I don't think anybody ever does anybody do those anymore. And and somehow I don't know if my mom encouraged us or if we encouraged my mom to teach us how to, because my mom used to cross it. She doesn't do it anymore. I keep trying to convince her to pick it back up, but she just doesn't seem to have much interest in it at this point in time. So and so that's how I learned how to. And then I just kind of like lost interest. I don't even think I ever finished a piece back then. Maybe like a small ornament or something then. And then, oh, Lucy is doing a latch hook rug of Winnie the Pooh and Friends. That is awesome because I didn't think people still did latch hook. So that is awesome. I would love to see a picture. Do you are you on Instagram? Do you post pictures, Lucy? Anyways, while we're waiting for that. So then I think I picked it back up in the mid 2000s when I was after college, and I was actually it was like right before I moved to Korea, and I was doing a kit. I think it was the Dimensions kit, and I took that kit with me to Korea, and I stitched most of the year in Korea. Never finished the kit, brought it home, and then the summer of 2016, I pulled that kit back out, and I was like, oh, I forgot all about this. And I was like, this would be fun to do. And I was going to sit down and stitch it, but then it was so dirty. And I just didn't have any interest in that. So I went back online and I was like, I wonder what I can find to stitch on. I was looking for an old world map, and I I was browsing Amazon, I think, and I found the kit that started my love back up of cross stitch, which was the Jan Lin Old World Map, which I now have framed and hanging in my dining room. So this is the first one I ever fully finished after I got back into cross stitching 2 years ago. You can see that in my videos, maybe my first video or second video ever. And that would be awesome, Lucy. So I can start following you. Yes, tag me on an Instagram pic. Okay, so and from there, I just kind of like fell into the whole of cross stitch, because then you find YouTube and you find I was like browsing like I think tutorials on how to improve my stitching, and that's when I found out about floss tube. So Linda says, I want to do one of those maps. There are so many maps that I have found that I am interested in stitching. So, and of course, they're all like full coverage. So there's a few on Etsy that I'm kind of like, I have my eye on the pattern. So maybe they might jump into my my stash at some point. We will have to wait and see. But I got to get through Henry first. Okay, Luba asked, thanks, Michelle. Luba asked, when do we get to see your secret stitch? Very good question. Soon. Soon. I will show it soon. Sometime in June. I know that's vague and hard to tell you, but it'll be sometime in June. Yeah, actually, Joanne, the world maps that I have interested in are not Heaven and Earth Designs. So they are actually from a Etsy store. I will talk about them on one of my updates. No, Luba, I'm sorry, not tomorrow. Sometime in June, I will show you my I have to gift it first, and then I will show you. I have some footage that I'm going to make an actual video about it, so you will get to see it um, whenever I get it all done. So, yes, Michelle, I am the most cryptic person ever, and she loves it. I try. You got to have some suspense. You can't just give everything out there all the time. That's no fun. Oh, really? I didn't even know that about Betty. Betty says Heaven and Earth Designs gave away a map last week, but because people spread it to other groups, it was pulled. I didn't even know that. Hmm. I don't follow. I mean, I'm on the Heaven and Earth Design group on Facebook, but I don't actually like follow. I don't ever hardly ever go on Facebook except for the Friday Off the Grid group. So, of course, apparently I missed it too. That's a bummer. But I'm also looking to expand my cross stitch beyond just like one designer, if that makes sense. Like I've done Henry. I have another Heaven and Earth design planned and in the works. So I'm going to definitely do that next after Henry. I don't know how quickly next, but there's other designers out there that have like old world maps that I would love to do. So I'm not going to like hone in and only ever do Heaven and Earth designs. Not saying that that's a bad. I'm just saying I want to like expand. So, any other questions, Michelle? Have you seen any? Anybody else have any other questions you want to throw out to me? I always enjoy answering questions, and I like doing it in this format. That way, then it's really just like a fun, interactive way to communicate back and forth. Oh, let's talk about designing. So, apparently, there's going to be some kind of windmill Sal. Michelle is going to give more information on that on her channel. So go check that out this week, maybe. I don't know. So check that out. And so do that. And yeah, you have Caroline and Michelle Bendy Stitchy are going to be hosting that Sal of my my windmill. See, I'm not ready for all this. I knew I was going to talk about this and I wasn't ready. So okay, so the windmill. You can purchase this on my Etsy store. Hi, Arlene. The windmill is, remember, all of my patterns are 25% off through the end of day tomorrow. Michelle Bendicici and Caroline Off the Grid Needle Arts are going to be hosting a stitch along for the windmill. Not sure when. Michelle's going to give more details tomorrow in her video. You can find that. Also, don't forget the companion piece is the water tower that you can also pick up in my Etsy store. And next week, the beginning of June, I will be releasing a trilogy, if you want to call it that, for the old-fashioned architectural elements series. So go check that out All of these patterns are available right now in the store, along with all of my other patterns are 25% off. A little plug for my store. So also, I will be hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, I do that all the time, releasing another small, a different style of small completely this weekend, maybe this weekend. We'll see. Hopefully this weekend. So be on the lookout for that. Actually, once I get Henry's page done, I'm going to go stitch that up. So if I can get that stitched up and ready to go, then by the end of the week, I should be able to release it. So that's in the works. So that will be fun to put out, and we'll see the response to that. So there's some fun things coming, and then I have a couple other designs in the works for June. So be on the lookout for those. So also, and the fun thing is the one that I'm working on right now, Michelle is also helping me stitch that up. So she's stitching it along with myself so that we can tag team stitch it to make sure that she's kind of like my test stitcher, which is a lot of fun. So if any of you are ever interested in test stitching or model stitching, please let me know, because I'm always looking for that. Because while I love stitching all my patterns, it can be daunting because I also like to stitch my own projects that I want to stitch on. Not saying that I don't want to stitch my own things, but you know, I mean, it took me a year to stitch my Phoenix, so. But yes, please feel free to send me an Instagram message and I will put you on a list of interested people who would be willing to test stitch. I do have some larger projects in the works, so that will be fun. But that's further down the line. Right now, I'm working on some smalls and getting that under my belt. So Joanne says, you are so fat, you're so busy and fast, not me, I must be the slowest stitcher. We all stitch at our own pace. And while you might think that you're slow, you might not be you might be faster than you think. I just have a whole lot of time I can devote to stitching. Like I come home from work and I sit on the couch and that's all I do is stitch until 1 o'clock in the morning some nights. On the weekends, I can sit and stitch for 12 hours a day. So, I mean, it just depends upon how much time you can devote. So, I don't have a lot of obligations in life other than work and stitching. And I call my stitching an obligation because if I don't do it, I get pretty grumpy. Any other questions? I know retreat season has been beginning and happening, which is exciting. And I'm going to the October retreat in Minnesota, the Midwest Cross Stitchers retreat, and I just want to throw out this little caveat. If you ever meet me in person, please don't fangirl over me. That's all I want to say. You know, I'm the type of person, I'm just like everyone else. And it kind of creeps me out when people are like, "Oh, I know you, but you don't know me," or stuff like that. So if you're going to a retreat that I'm going to, or you're going to an event that I'm going to, just come up and say hi. That's all you have to do. And I think that's the same way for a lot of other YouTubers out there. Like, to me, and I use fangirl loosely because obviously I'm not a girl. I know you I think it's more for like the fan is a girl, so therefore it's a fangirling, even though whatever. But just talk to them like people. I know there's excitement about it, but we're all people. Is it Melina or Melina? I'm thinking Melina. Yes, Melina Montague. Okay, yay, I got it right. Melina Montague. What a wonderful name. Okay, she asks, what advice would you give to someone who just started cross stitching? I would say go for it. Don't be afraid and be creative, which is what I say all the time, anyways. So, honestly, I just say don't be afraid to try something. You know, if you want to, I'm the type of person that just jumps in both feet or head first instead of both, with your feet. And I'm like, just do it. And I think it took me I think this was the first piece I did on Ada, and then I went right to even weave and linen, and then I jumped right into metallic threads, and then I jumped into silks. So it's like just try it. The worst thing you're going to do is spend some money that you're going to like mess up the product or something, and then you just go try something else. And because if you don't try something, you're not going to learn what you like and what you don't like. So for me, it's like if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and you don't try something new, you're not going to know if you like it or not. So, I tried parking and I hated it because I just couldn't wrap my head around it. And Arlene says, enjoy what you are stitching. Too many options of patterns, etc., to stick with something you don't enjoy. And I completely agree with that. If you don't like it, don't stitch it. That's just like whenever I came back to stitching after that time, and I tried to sit down and stitch that piece from Korea, and I was like, I just don't have any interest in it, so I threw it away. It is what it is. It's just like, like why are you going to sit there and force yourself to stitch something that makes you upset? And just like for me with stitching on all this confetti with Henry, it's like if I sit there and I keep stitching on it and I'm not into it, it's going to force me to not want to stitch on Henry and even potentially not stitch on anything at all because I get so frustrated. So I would rather put him down for a couple hours, a couple days, and then come back to it and stitch on something else. And that way I continue to keep my motivation and my love. Okay, Michelle says, okay, there's a good question. If you find yourself hating a project that you're working on, what do you do with it? I have not come to a point where I've hated have I come to a point where I hated a project I've worked on? Yes. Okay. The only thing that I can think of that I ever started that I didn't like anymore and it's still sitting in my cupboard is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Passport Sal. And it's just sitting there. I haven't done anything with it because I don't know what to do with it yet. I haven't decided. Honestly, because most of the time I forget about it. Um, And the reason I just don't like it anymore is because I think my taste changed on that. I really liked their national parks design, and so I was really excited to stitch the passport one, and then it was just a little bit too, I'm going to use the word cartoony. It was a little bit too not detailed enough for me. So, and I like the really detailed stuff. So for me, I don't know, maybe my taste will change and I'll come back to it. I don't know. So right now it just sits in my cabinet. And Beaker Sanute asks, do you have a preference for different brands of floss? No. To be honest, I really haven't used a lot of the different flosses yet. I'm kind of a floss virgin for a lot of them, if you can use that term. Obviously, I've used DMC. I've used Color and Cotton. I've used Kreinik and Petite Treasure Braid. I prefer Petite Treasure Braid over Kreinik. I've used Gentle Arts and what else is in the is there Classic Colorworks in Lila Studios Independence Hall one? Let Freedom Ring. I think there is. So if there is, I've used Classic Colorworks and Gentle Arts sampler threads. I know I've used Gentle Arts. Hi, Mindy. Other than that, I don't think I've used anything else. Because most of my projects are kits, and I'm not going to change the threads for the kits. So Michelle just said that we are on for June 2nd for the Ginger Gerald Small Sound. So if you have a Ginger Gerald Small, I assume, is it specifically the windmill, Michelle, or can it be any of the smalls that I have? Okay, so she just bought the water tower. Thank you, Michelle. And so she said any. So I guess it's going to be hashtag Ginger Gerald Smalls, Sal. She's going to give you all the information tomorrow in her update. But also remember to hashtag Ginger Gerald Designs whenever you stitch up any of my designs, so that I can follow you and enjoy watching and seeing how you stitch it up, especially if you change the colors, change the fabric, change, I like to see that because I like to see the creativity. So anyways, getting back to the flosses and threads, most of my kits or most of my projects are kits. So I haven't really had the opportunity to work with other flosses. I have used Gloriana, which I like. I have used Dinky Dyes and Silks for You. I enjoy them all. I really don't notice the difference, so I don't have a preference. Other than in the metallics, I prefer Petite Treasure Braid the best. I hope that answers the question, Beaker Sanute. Any other questions? And then we're going to wrap this up here in about 5 minutes, if you don't have any other questions. I will say I have, amongst my other large projects, I do have some smaller pieces I have ready to go that I would like to get started, but my birthday start will be another large project start. And then I do have some smaller designs ready to like work in between these smaller ones or work in between the larger designs. So, like how I did this in a day or two. I have some things that I want to do, like in some small designs that I'll work on in a day or two. I have some small designs that I'll work on, intermixed between the large pieces that will take more than a day or two, just to help keep my stitching mojo. So, any other questions? Going once, going twice. Thank you so much, Thunder. Thunder 402 just bought the windmill and water tower. So thank you. Um, anyways, I will be back on Wednesday for my weekly update. I will hopefully will have a finished Henry page. I have my mushrooms small motif finish, and maybe I'll have a fully finished object. Hopefully, I'll get that done here in an hour, and we'll see what else I get up to on this holiday Monday. Uh, Friday and Saturday. I'm not sure what's going to happen with my Stitch With Me video. I do plan on getting a Stitch With Me out. I'm just not sure when this weekend it will happen. It might not. I might be crashing Michelle's and getting it up on Sunday. I will see what I can do and see when I can get it filmed and get it up. I do have a very busy weekend coming up this weekend. So I will do my best and we'll go from there. But other than that, this is a normal week, and hopefully we get lots of work in. And I hope you all have a wonderful stitching day if that's what you're doing, or crafting day if you're working on. So have a good one. Thanks for joining me. Goodbye.